this stage in my career, my label is really taking off, getting structured. I was getting much more confident in both my music and acting endeavors because of all that I had learned and worked on up to that point. Musically, I was ready to do more, ready to get more edgy, but still maintain pop appeal. And I was growing up a little bit. I was being more vulnerable lyrically, and I was also piling on tracks. This is when producers I'd work with would say, I needed to go talk to The Weeknd because he has like hundreds of tracks on and vocal pileups on a recording, which I love. And it became a studio giggle every time. Just like, you have too many tracks. Okay, well, I want more. Um, but yeah, I know each and every track like the back of my hand because I built the track from the ground up. By the time the recording came out, my melodic moodiness and minor tonality was definitely solidified as a Maya J trademark. Speaking of trademarks, gosh. Anyway, Like You, the video came out in 2019, and it was my colorful baby. It also did really well play-wise. The water scene was my favorite to shoot, even though the water was like 5 degrees. The relationship scenes and the light wall scenes were also fun. I love filming videos and creating stories that utilize color well to help get the point across. Like It was the last single of mine to have physical CDs. Oh my gosh, I should have brought some CDs today. But anyway, fun fact about the Like You music video. I had to do reshoots. Yeah. While the director was traveling, the hard drive got corrupted. I panicked. I screamed, but then I executed a plan. The DP sent me the hard drive, and I found a data recovery team like in Switzerland that could work on it where I could still meet my deadlines. So I shipped it off, and the data recovery worked for the bulk of it, but half of the video was gone. So we had to reshoot. Since the camera was different on reshoots, in order for everything to look uniform, I actually reshot scenes that ended up being in the data recovery. On reshoots, it was a much smaller team and limited time on location, but fans liked it too, so it was cool. Fun fact number 2 about Like You. The song was originally supposed to have a rap on it. There was a collaborator who recorded a rap. There was an agitator also. And 2018 was wild in music. Hey, if you know, you know. Hurricane is a song that was recorded just before the pandemic. So it was pretty much done in LA and just had to be mixed and mastered once the lockdown came. So John True Keys, who also worked with me on Unconditional and Home, put the finishing touches on Hurricane. That major drum beat that helps provide the shift between the sections, that was added last to the record, and I feel like it completed it. While I was working on the next 2 records, fully remotely, I might add, before it was the major thing to do, we filmed the music video for Hurricane in my sister's bathroom. Rose petals and candles, fake candles, because I don't play fire next to my head. No. I have close family in the news business, so not only do I have a great respect for journalism, but I also think of live shots and reporters a lot when I think of announcements. So the concept that I thought of one night for the music video was a newscast about a major hurricane that was interrupted by footage of me coming through, interspersed, but ultimately interrupted completely by the hurricane, which symbolized that rough situation, relationship, whatever you're dealing with. My addiction to weather metaphors is huge because I spent many of my formative years in life in South Florida, where we had thunderstorms, lots of lightning, major hurricanes, tropical storms, tornado possibilities, and, you know, all of that heat and humidity stuff. All of those things are very wild and unpredictable, which is why I think those are good metaphoric connections to hardships in life. Even though I'm from California, Florida raised me a bit too, so that's why Hurricane came to be. Unconditional is a ballad about unconditional love. I wrote Unconditional during a time of great transition, another, not just in my own personal life, but also in the world around me. You know, the pandemic was raging. I was out of Los Angeles. I was staying with my mom and sister, and I recorded the song in Dallas while my producer, John True, was in San Diego. This really was an interesting piece because it seemed to resonate with a lot of different types of music fans. I mean, it did well in soft pop, but it also landed on a lot of country playlists and Nashville-based lists. And what the press was asking a lot at the time was whether I was an R&B pop artist that was country leaning, or was I going to start releasing country music. On that, I've always said that R&B and country are closely related, which is why I could never understand why certain people would mock me for having such an eclectic taste in music, including love for certain types of country. Certain types of country music always been in my life. And yes, I liked country music before it was a fad to say that you liked it. R&B and country are forever going to be cousins, and blues is definitely at the family reunion. So home. Home has an interesting story. I am not going to say what TV show it was written for, but it all started when my friend said, "Oh my gosh, you need to write a song for our show," because he's an actor on the show. I was like, "Oh my gosh, what a cool idea." And since the show was good, I was inspired and sat down immediately at the piano, and I was like, you know what, let me write a song about this. And so the song poured out of me. I wrote the song in a new key following the evolution of my voice and recorded it as a voice memo to send to John. We ended up working on it, and it turned out really nicely and really quickly. Everyone who heard the song before it was released fell in love with it. I talked with a music supervisor, manager, all of that. They loved the song, and they loved the fact that I had previous TV song deals, most notably with Freeform, of course. The show was going through some major script and tonal changes in the production. So by the time the next season rolled around, the song's lyrics didn't really apply to the show anymore. But it's okay because I ended up releasing it commercially for my own label. So it all worked out. The climb of the strings in the pre-chorus coming into that electronic guitar in the chorus section, that made the instrumental even something I listen to on a regular basis. I really liked how the rise of it. The song was in my style, but somehow different than what I had previously done. It was very cinematic. I love cinematic pop records, and this one was definitely time well spent.